Ladies and gentlemen, Resident Evil Requiem is incredible, it's phenomenal, it's peak. No. It's good. But it has one problem. Actually, a few. And you can already see one of them on the front cover of the game. We're gonna get into all of these problems, but before that, if you guys want to see this live, check it out on the purple platform /me, or watch it right here on YouTube. So, the story. The story of RE9 is about Grace, a schoolgirl turned FBI agent who has some serious social anxiety.
Oh, right, sorry,
Hey, are you with me?
what do I do? Who's there?
Why are you in the FBI? One day she gets a case to visit the mysterious Wrenwood Hotel. She isn't going there for sightseeing, y'all. She's going there to confront her past. As soon as she arrives, however, she starts experiencing flashbacks. Flashbacks of when her mom was still alive, but sooner or later... See ya. Just after that, she encounters a zombie, who she easily throws out the window, but only after getting bit by the zombie. Does this infection go anywhere? Does it come back to bite her in the ass later on? No. Right after that, she encounters a man who goes by Dr. Victor Gideon. He tells Grace that he's the one who lured her back to the Wrenwood Hotel. Because she isn't just an FBI agent, she's the chosen one. Yeah, let's not go that far. He chokes her out, then we get to the real main protagonist, Leon Kennedy. Leon runs into Victor Gideon randomly wandering around with Grace on his shoulder, but as soon as he starts going after him, Victor's already gone. After killing a few zombies, we can see that Leon has been walking around with a T-virus infection. The only other person who knows of Leon's infection is Sherry. She lets Leon and us know that he's running out of time. After 9 Resident Evil games and the 4 he's appeared in, is this really the final Resident Evil game for Leon S. Kennedy?
No fucking way.
Jumping back to Grace, we find her upside down in the Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center. God, that's a long name. As soon as she gets free, we encounter the first new zombie type. And for some reason, this zombie doesn't kill Grace when it could have easily have done it. She's not blind, she's not deaf. The only reason this kid is still alive is because she's one of the main protagonists. Hey, I think there's another word for that. So, after running away like a schoolgirl, Grace realizes that this new zombie type is weak to light. That might come in handy later on. After barely escaping the new zombie type with the help of Leon, Leon gives Grace his new favorite gun. The gun is that good they named the game after it, the Requiem. How did he get this gun? When did he get this gun? We will never know. Shortly after that, Grace runs into a little girl called Emily, who just so happens to be blind. Later on, we discover that this kid is actually one of many clones of Grace that Umbrella has been cooking up for quite a while now. We don't know the reasoning until much later on. So then, we go on the hunt for the level 3 wristband that will release Emily. Right after getting the level 3 wristband, however, Grace realizes that the last puzzle to get them out of there can only be solved by someone who's blind. Really? That's how you make the blind kid useful? Grace releases Emily and brings her to the blind puzzle, where she is suffered to go for a mandatory part of Resident Evil. I'm sure every Resident Evil fan knows all too well by now. The Barn Survival section. How many times have we seen this by now? Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 4, RE5, RE6, and now in RE9.
Okay, it's game time.
You know, I wouldn't mind doing this if I was Leon, but doing this shit as Grace?
No fucking way.
And then right after that, the blind kid gets kidnapped. Good shit, Grace. You have the Requiem, right? Why didn't you use it? Ugh, whatever. Grace jumps down on our face and then we switch back to Leon, being interrogated by Victor. But because Leon is Leon, that only lasts about 2 seconds. Then the game decides to hammer home something we already know. Leon is running out of time and he's a dead man walking. Yeah, we know. Switching back to Grace, she ends up in an underground prison while looking for Emily. And this is where one of the main problems of RE9 appears. The fetch quest problem. Fetch quest, fetch quest, fetch quest. It's all over this game. The amount of times you have to go fetch for several items and bring them back to a single door or area is ridiculous. And what makes it even worse is that you're not solving puzzles or anything like that while getting these items. You're just killing zombies as Grace, not Leon. Tell me, Doc. I thought the whole idea of this game was that Grace was meant to be more survival horror solving puzzles type, and Leon was meant to be more about the combat, which he is. Grace has already had 2 forced survival sections, one in the previous mission and one right here. And what makes it even worse is that Grace is the most boring set of weapons I've ever seen in my whole life. The pistol, the Requiem, an injector, a Molotov, an acid bomb, and oh wait, a knife. And the only other weapon you find as Grace is another pistol. Really? Anyway, after going through another fetch quest, Grace and the blind kid escape, only to stumble upon the worst pilot in RE history. After getting the keys this moron needed, oh yeah, and by the way, from another fetch quest, he crashes the heli within 2 seconds. Jumping back to Leon. Capcom decided they wanted to make their own Last of Us Joel shoots out the window with a sniper rifle mission, then immediately followed up by a Last of Us bloater boss fight. Are you serious? Then switching back to Grace after the shortest Leon mission I've ever seen in my whole life, Grace has to do yet another.
You serious?
It's not a fetch quest, but it's very close. Shortly after that, Emily turns into that baby zombie from RE8. Then Leon comes in, puts her down. Did he just kill a kid? Then Grace says, fuck this, gives Leon back the Requiem and sides with the guy who choked her out and Wesker. Oh wait, it's a clone.
You are nothing but an imitation.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
With Grace out of the picture and not being a playable character for a while, Resident Evil Requiem just skyrocketed from a 5 out of 10 to a 6 or 7. And yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know some people like the survival horror solving puzzles type over the action heavy stuff, but I lean towards more the other way. That's probably why my favorite RE games are RE4 and 5, RE2 and 3, and then everything else. Yeah, just like that. Going back to Leon. Leon arrives at Raccoon City, and this mission might honestly be the worst Leon mission I've ever seen. It starts off good. You fight a spider boss they rip straight out of Devil May Cry 1. Look at this, it's the same, there's no sugarcoating it. Then straight after that, Leon arrives at the Fuck You Fedra Gate from Last of Us Part 2, that he has to blow up with some C4. But the C4 is missing, and to make this C4, he has to acquire 3 different parts from 3 different locations and bring them back to the gate. Where have I seen this shit before? Capcom, think of something else. Then Leon acquires a tactical watch that records kills, but it doesn't record stuff like headshots, melees, finishing blows, parries, nothing. And the points from this watch can be used to purchase stuff from the item box. And this again is another step down from the RE4 shop. There's only like 6 items to buy. 1 pistol, a shotgun, an SMG, a body armor, a case upgrade, and an health item. That's it! The upgrade system sucks too. After you upgrade every stat to the max, you don't get any additional upgrades like you did in RE4. And the charm slots are all for the pistols and snipers only, even though the shotgun and SMG also have them. By far the worst shop in Resident Evil. After blowing open the fetch quest gate, you're thrown into a bike chase. I'm not gonna lie, this part's pretty cool, but there's one problem. Why aren't we controlling the bike? And why is it the game? After you kill Victor, yeah, right, Leon arrives back at the RPD station. How many times have we been here? Not Leon, us. Leon catches up to Zeno and Grace learns that the blind kid is a copy of her. Then immediately after that, you're thrown into the worst section of the game, which was also the worst part of RE2. You want us to play as the blind kid and just run around from evil dolls that look like 11? This completely killed the pacing of the game. Why are we going from Leon killing zombies? Oh wait, there was only one zombie in the RPD. To a blind kid who somehow isn't blind anymore. How? Did Leon actually fix her eyesight when he killed her? Who the hell knows? After escaping the 11 dolls, the blind kid ends up in an Umbrella laboratory where she is kidnapped again by a doctor who kinda looks like the Silent Hill 2 guy. Switching back to Grace, she learns that her mom isn't actually her mom, and she actually got created by Spencer. Then, out of nowhere, Mr. X shows up, because we're in the RPD, so of course he has to show up. We get thrown into a boss fight with him, the same kind of boss fight from RE2. Nothing changes, the only difference is we can parry him. We kill him in the lamest way possible, and then we reach the underground laboratory. But only after fighting a plant boss that came straight out of Devil May Cry 5. When inside, we see the return of the Lickers, but in this game, unfortunately, they're pretty damn easy to kill. But then, Resident Evil Requiem actually does something new. Instead of just fighting zombies, now you get to fight human enemies, special op enemies that all look like Hunk, and I actually think this is one of the coolest parts of the game. I didn't know this in my first playthrough, but you can actually shoot the Lickers out of the chambers and have them fight the special op guys. Then after that, you're thrown into another boss fight, which I actually thought was Hunk. But no, it turns out this is Leon's biggest fanboy. This might be the best boss fight in the game. It's a lot like the Krauser knife fight from the RE4 remake, but this time, you're both using guns at the same time. You kill the fanboy, you get a weapon called the Mortal Edge. How is this any different from the normal hatchet? I still don't know. Leon catches up to Grace and Zeno shows Leon that he's really Wesker 2.0.
Don't embarrass yourself, Mr. Kennedy. You can't beat me.
Ooh. Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct in another game. What the holy fuck? Then, back to playing as Grace. No puzzle solving, just walking around finding items, bringing them back to a door while running into another new zombie type that should have been the Regenerators, but no, they're just normal zombies that look different. Switching back to Leon, the game lets us know for the third time now that Leon is running out of time, and his infection is getting worse. This is only for the game to randomly turn our screen blue. We know that he's dying, we don't need this kind of indication. Leon finally arrives back at the Zeno door, yes, that's what it's called, coughing up blood and passing out. Grace catches up to Leon and they both enter the final room. Zeno tells Grace to enter the password to release Elpis, and this is where the game splits into two endings, y'all. If you destroy Elpis, you destroy the whole laboratory, and then the unthinkable happens. Leon, arguably the greatest Resident Evil character to ever be made, dies in the worst possible way. Wait a minute, a forced third option because they knew killing the main protagonist like that will turn the whole fan base against them? Hey, Last of Us, are you watching? So, after clicking the forced third option and releasing Elpis, you get the real ending, and it turns out Elpis is a cure. After 9 Resident Evil games, there's finally a cure. How did this franchise get a cure before The Walking Dead? Anyway, made by the guy who started this all, Spencer. After curing Leon, Leon returns to his prime, even though he's like 51 years old or something. Who gives a shit? It's Leon. We end up in a boss fight with Victor, which is just another Mr. X boss fight. Then after killing Victor, he turns into another enemy we've already seen again, Nemesis. And somehow this fight is actually worse than the one in RE3 Remake. In RE3 Remake, you're shooting weak spots, dodging his attacks, charging up the railgun behind you. In the RE9's version, you're just shooting weak spots and parrying. That's it. It's another step down from a previous game. Anyway, after all of that, Grace and Leon make it out alive, and that's the end of RE9. This game has several problems that we're going to get into right now. The first problem, combining herbs. Why did they make combining stuff in this game so clunky? Every Resident Evil game, you could just move a herb over to another herb and it will combine. In RE9, you have to click the herb, it brings up a menu. Then you click on combine, and then it brings up another menu. And then you have to hold X for a good 2 seconds. Why did they make it this way? The hell do I know? The second problem, the nostalgia bait. It's all over this game. How many times do you want us to go back to Raccoon City, the RPD station, face an enemy we've already seen a million times? They also make Mr. X do something from a whole other RE game. Who does that again? Xeno, who does he remind you of? They even say it at the end of the game. The only callback I thought that wasn't being forced down our throats is Sherry wearing Jake's glove from RE6. It makes sense from the amount of times he saved her in that game. Speaking of Jake, where is he? From the amount of Wesker callbacks, why isn't Jake even mentioned? Is he dead? Where has he been this whole time? We will never know.
You know anything about an Albert Wesker?
What?
Take that as a yes.
Part of the reason why Resident Evil 7 and 8 are so memorable is because they strayed away from all this Raccoon City bullshit and went off and did their own thing. And they did it good. New enemies, a new setting, new everything. Resident Evil 9. Let's go back to a location we've already been to, but this time make it as empty and lifeless as possible. Guys, the people saying Resident Evil Requiem is incredible, it's phenomenal, it's peak. No, it's not. It's not bad, it's not amazing, it's good. You want a rating out of 10 for Resident Evil Requiem? Resident Evil Requiem is a 6 or 7 out of 10. Like and subscribe, I'll see you next time.
Would you just die already?